Sixtus, have you finished with the vote of thanks?
Not yet.
Okay.
Should I pause?
It's funny how it sounds like some old storyteller.
I'm telling you. In any case, my weekend was good, but I was definitely glued to the socials, glued to all of the current affairs shows, glued to all of the radio
shows. Again?
I mean, some persons
Don't you get tired?
They promised us some evidence. You know what I'm saying? So every time the phone
told
pings,
you that evidence would come.
No,
this week.
I know, but you never know. You just never know. So all weekend long, I thought, oh my goodness, I need to stay abreast. Papa Bisi will be calling, Kosami will be calling, Pastor Dewale will be calling, Eben will be calling, and they're all going to be wanting to know, do we have any scoop as yet? But as it stands now, we are yet to see what is going on. I'm telling you, this is more than a telenovela. My jaw has been agape all weekend long as revelation after revelation has riveted the entire nation. With that preamble, we'll get into the news review, and it's an extended one this morning. Apologies, there will be no Johnny's Bite this morning. Johnny's Bite comes your way again tomorrow. So you're stuck with myself, Sixtus, and Michael. But we promise to make it worth your while. The Daily Graphic this morning.
They should at least share our
the link.
Yes.
Sure. Share the link. Share the link. Share the link. Share the link.
For those
share
of
the
you
link.
who want to be on the move, you can be on the move and still follow us.
Absolutely.
Just go to Facebook. When you click on it and you find us, you see Michael in his suspenders.
Yes, you see the suspenders.
Wine suspenders. Please add that.
Unique wine suspenders.
Yes,
it goes with the tie as well. And Dapper Monday.
It's a whole artwork.
I'm seeing Sixes also with the same sort of theme. Suspender. Is that how it works? The suspenders must kind of match the tire?
Not necessarily, but
Right.
but there's a whole color scheme that you must balance from your shirt to the outfit to the
Oh, but
tie.
Helen knows this.
I don't know too much about men's fashion. My beloved doesn't really wear suspenders, but I feel like
to the beloved.
the Daily Graphic this morning.
Yeah,
Beloved.
The Daily Graphic this morning. We will stabilize the city, the finance minister assures the nation. Okay, and you've got Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, Minister of Finance, pictured here on the front page. Exactly how that's going to be happening, we'll get into that story before we park it for the news review. Church of Pentecost calls for drastic measures to curb galamsey. GCB celebrates Asante Hene. And also, Finance Ministry holds engagement with stakeholders. And also, you have the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, also the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, pictured here. He's got some, I guess, a series to tell us about what is happening on his campaign. The next chapter, it is called. It's been advertised on the front page of the Daily Graphic. I've also got the Daily Democrat. They say it's nothing but the truth. Godfrey Damis plot exposed. Witness says he can't lie. And Information Minister pledges support for Primpag. Dr. Ofosuampo returns home safely. Grateful to God. Okay. Animal Farm sexual harassment at National Commission on Culture. Very interestingly worded headline there. On the back page, children 13 to 15 use tobacco. There's a report on that. And tobacco and nicotine industry tactics. Addict youth for life. All right. What do we have, gentlemen?
Ghana's favorite newspaper, Daily Guide newspaper, the front page. Let me start with this. Ghanaian lady missing in Nigeria story is on page 6 of the paper. And Helen, if you would permit me, I'll just briefly go through the details because I think that we need to pay attention to this. A Ghanaian lady, Abigail Afiba Tando, has been declared missing in Nigeria while on a visit with a female friend. The young woman's mysterious disappearance has compelled the Nigerian police force to launch a search for her. According to reports, Abigail Afiba Tando went to Nigeria with her friend, Celine Indudim, who is from Nigeria. There is strong suspicion that Afiba has been abducted in the commercial city of, is it Abia State, Nigeria. Abigail, whose passport number is G3907849, traveled with Celine to attend a friend's wedding. The wedding ceremony was reportedly put off, and the Ghanaian lady decided to engage in other business ventures when she allegedly disappeared. According to sources, following the cancellation of the wedding, Afiba and Celine met with another acquaintance, Adiene Blessing Onyinye, whose wedding was called off on April 19, 2014. Wow, 2 months ago, a month ago, at Garden Heights Estate in GRA Port Harcourt. Following that, on April 27, the two traveled to Aba Abia State to meet Celine's partner about a business deal based on pet-related ventures, Afiba's area of expertise. Afiba and Celine promised to return by April 29 and were last spotted at Panyu Hotel and Resort in Abia before disappearing. Concerns about the two women's fate grew substantially after reports surfaced on Sunday, April 28, indicating a possible kidnapping scenario. An urgent message sent via WhatsApp from Afiba's phone featured a live location tag ordering the recipient, a mutual contact in Port Harcourt, to notify authorities immediately. In response to this distress call, the Aba Anti-Kidnapping Squad was immediately notified, advocating collaborative efforts with the Nigerian police force to speed search and rescue operations in the pursuit of identifying the missing victims, on and on and on and on. This is just to draw attention to the story, the Ghana Police Service attention, and then the diplomatic channels that we will need to engage. Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We can never leave one of our own abroad. Absolutely. Missing and suffering. Now back to the rest of the headline stories.
Just a quick one on the story. Isn't it quite concerning that some security details were given out easily in that story, especially the part where a distress message, the passport number one, a distress message also given out. So if this person was making efforts to get herself rescued, and then the kidnappers are hearing that she had made an attempt to reach it, you are worsening the situation, don't you think?
No, today is what, 26th, right? 26th May. This is way back April. This is way back April. This is April 29. It's well over a month, or almost a month. In fact, exactly a month. So at this point, we can't be concerned about what to withhold. I mean, if it's still about a current location, I would agree with you. But these details are very old.
But it still is a security information that shouldn't be out there yet until the finality of the case.
My concern actually would be about the family, whether the family already knows about this. If the family is not aware of this, then it will be some way. We would then be creating some panic and challenging the news in a very bad way to them. Yeah, that would be my immediate concern about the family, whether the family is in the know. But I think that the Foreign Affairs Ministry, our mission in Nigeria, the police service, BNI or NIB, all the security services, they should be all over this. I mean, it's not all about Atuforsen.
Absolutely, surely.
Back to the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Ambulance case, secret recordings, plea letters exposed. Breaking the 8 is possible. And the paper is still counting down to Green Ghana Day. Says 11 days more. Finance Ministry holds engagement with stakeholders. That is on page 7. I also have your most authoritative newspaper, the Ghanaian Times newspaper. It says Saturday downpour in Accra, Obechibi Lamte Circle submerged. Residents, shop owners, drivers want work to speed up. And pictured here, some residents using ladder to climb to safety. That's concerning. Established Ghana Agriculture Service to transform sector. Professor Kantong is speaking. We have too many Ghana Agriculture Service. Too many bureaucracies. Ghana marks 61st AU Day. Health providers, NHIA holds talks on joint implementation of preventive and promotive health initiatives. Also has that story. Finance Ministry holds engagement with stakeholders. The headline is the same. The picture is the same. It's located on the same side of both front pages. Well, I am never the conspiracist type, but this is it. Daily Analyst newspaper, without fear or favor. Tanker drivers, NPA, Brouhaha, fire UPPF corridor now. Stakeholders tell NPA. Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, CEO of NPA, is pictured together with Jacob Amwa, UPPF coordinator. EC extends voters registration exercise. Ghana's public debt hits 656.6 billion Ghana cedis. Tobinco Pharmaceuticals Training Institute holds 6th graduation at Nkes Diasa Season 8. NR National Road Safety Authority engages political parties on road safety as campaigns intensify. On the back page, suspect arrested in connection with missing Ghanaian lady and her friend in Nigeria. Okay, so you see the development to that story.
That's right.
So what we have on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper is actually old. If the Daily Analyst story is anything to go by.
So there's an update.
There's an update. It says following a month-long search for a missing Ghanaian lady, Afiba, and her friend Celine, significant developments have emerged pointing towards suspect Andrew Amechi Ochipo, a 52-year-old British Nigerian with deep connections in Nigeria. Ochipo, a suspected notorious figure wanted by security agencies, was apprehended by Interpol in Nigeria to aid in investigations related to the disappearance of the two women. CCTV footage from the hotel where the trio met revealed crucial evidence linking the suspect to the missing girls, including personal belongings such as the ladies' handbags, ATM cards, among others, were found in his residence. So actually the two of them, both the Ghanaian and the Nigerian,
that's right,
were kidnapped. Okay. Ghana's GDP grew by 2.9% in 2023. Amin Adam is speaking. Conduct your campaigns with civility to foster peace. NCC is speaking against to the political parties. That will be all.
All right.
That was a lengthy.
Michael, over to you, please. What do you have for us?
The new find that $2.32 billion inflows expected. Signing of OCC to unlock more funds to restart stalled projects. That's according to Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam from Friday's economic press conference update. AI takes center stage at CEO Summit today. To be an interesting one, you know, the two running mates will be meeting the Mahama and
Naomi. I see. They'll both be in attendance.
Yes, please. They'll both be there. So we'll see if a showdown will happen.
But they've met before.
Well, there's another. Government initiates monthly dialogues to address concerns of businesses. That's we have Kobna Tahir Hammond there. And ambulance case was Attorney General entrapped. Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. And today, the Today newspaper, Truth and Enlightenment. Indum leads hashtag bring back GN Bank national tour, calls on government to pay monies owed to group Indum companies. Ghana's public debt increases, hits 658.6 billion cedis. Ambulance case, lawyer questions AG's intentions.
All right. Now, whilst you're checking out the dailies, make sure you're also checking out 3news.com. We've got the latest in politics, entertainment, sports, health, business, you name it. There are a number of interesting stories. If you missed the key points on Saturday, shout out to Alfred and the rest of the crew. There's a summary on there, 15 key points from the show on May 25, and you can see some of the shall I say, gems that came out of that particular episode. And also, if you are on X this morning, you see that Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa has written down or has put down all of the monies he says he has saved the people of Ghana through his oversight. So it's a summary of parliamentary oversight conducted by Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, MP for North Tongue and ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee. He lists some 31 items that he has sought to bring to our attention and has subsequently, he says, saved the good people of Ghana some monies. He's recently been on a passionate adventure to stop the sale of some 4 hotels, or shall I say a 70% stake in some 4 notable hotels, to Minister of Agriculture Brian Echampon. We're told that, they're in the last stages. Inspections are being made and so on and so forth. But gentlemen, I'm not sure that I've picked either of your brains on this particular SNITS saga sale. Or did we discuss that sometime last week during the news review when it was kind of freshly bubbling? We've had some time to hear from at least Brian Echampon. We've had some time to hear from SNITS. They've issued a release. I'm not too sure that they've offered more than that release that they've asked us to chew, ponder, and dissect. Gentlemen, what do we make of this?
I think we got to the point where the Honorable Ablakwa had written to Shraj.
That's right. Shraj, in fact, has responded.
Yes. To him, and they will be looking into the matter. And I think that we should wait for that report to come out. What has always been my position is that, if you recall, when we started this discussion with the report that had raised some red flags about the viability and sustainability of SNIT way before these hotels issues even came up.
Right. And
I had always maintained that we need to break SNIT away from political control. We need to, as somebody once said, we need to rescue SNIT. Because, look, as contributors, it always baffles me that as an ordinary contributor, I am unable to access the services of the trust hospital anywhere it is located. I can't just walk in there and say that, I have some stomach upset, treat me, and it will be okay with me. You can't get that. As a contributor, I cannot just walk into any of the SNIT guest houses or hotels to say that I'm lost in Accra. I just want to lay my head, and then the following day I'll get up and continue on my travels. I can't do that because it's way too expensive for me as a contributor. So my contributions are being used to invest. You get it? Meanwhile, I do not have access to the so-called investments. You get it? You can compare this to what the teachers are doing. NAT. NAT has a similar arrangement.
Right.
NAT has some investments. And it doesn't matter where you are coming from, which village in this country you are coming from. Once you get into any of the regional capitals or the national capital and you are stranded, all you have to do is find your way to the SNIT host, NAT hostel. Do they call them hostels or guest houses? There's one at Accra here. Around where the regional coordinating council is.
Right.
They call them hostels. Yeah. And there's a discounted standing offer to teachers. Once you're a teacher and you walk in, you get some amount of services. Right. And I would have expected that we'll have similar or same treatment from SNIT, at least to the contributor. But it always baffles me, beats my imagination, how you are contributing to something that you cannot afford the services of that particular scheme. So I think that beyond this, this hotel matter is just one of the many problems that we have always discussed. You
say this should cause us to look deeper into the structure of SNIT and the power of
government should have no say in who becomes DG of SNIT. Government should have no say in who becomes
because in fact that has come up.
SNIT.
That has come up. This latest, if you call it a reshuffling of sorts, they say might be seen as a catalyst for certain things happening as we presently see it.
Yes.
And this perception of there being something untoward happening, I don't think you can begrudge anybody of that opinion, only because of what we have also seen over the period as far as dealings are concerned, always seem to be shrouded in some sort of secrecy, or something doesn't appear to be sort of straitjacket or 1+1. Michael, you've been following the story, I'm sure. What do you make of it, given where we are now? So we've heard from this side, that side. Some people say it's a case of morality versus legality, and that's also a very big thing, because on the face of it...
that legality argument, Do you know that all the coups that happened in this country, all the military regimes that we had, they were founded on law? You know that, right? Yeah, they all had establishing decrees that gave the administrations of the day legality.
Right.
And gave them the impetus to operate and to rule. You get
That's
it?
right.
So this thing, and if there are no lessons at all we have learned, we should by now have learned that per the nature of our laws, any politician, any political figure or leader can twist the law to favor his ideals, policies, regime, whatever. We are seeing it. We are seeing how the law is used to do things in this country. And there are a lot of examples that we can cite.
So the fact that something is legal doesn't mean that should be the end of the conversation, especially where ethics come to play. Michael, what say you?
So we know that sometime last year or last 2 years, SNIT let go one of its assets to a private company to manage. I think that's what's now Lancaster, because according to the company, it wasn't doing too well. And we know that SNIT has been on a drive to sort of realign itself, especially with some of its assets that are not doing too well, which is understandable. However, my concern is that the figures, for instance, from Labadi Beach Hotel are quite impressive.
That's right.
So why are we selling the asset if it's doing well?
And I think that's something that SNIT also has to give us more clarity on, because, you know, it's not always that entities will seek to offload their shares purely because they're not doing well. And if there were such considerations, I think SNIT should come clean and say, or come clear, not clean, I take that back, come clear and let us know, okay, maybe these two are doing well. However, we are divesting our interest or our shares for XYZ reason. Maybe these two are not doing well. But even so, think about government's responsibility to provide jobs. I feel more secure if SNIT has these shares, has these hotels, so that they have more of a, shall I say, more of a duty to provide shares. They might even be looking to pump monies into these entities to keep them afloat, to protect Ghanaian jobs, and so on and so forth. Even the land that these hotels are situated on, these are prime lands. If you give off a large percent of your share, in fact, give off your entire shares in the hotels, what if the person that is now the majority shareholder decides that, no, actually, I want to make this a string of nightclubs. I want to make this a string of, you know, whatever it is. That's also a possibility, am I right? That unless some terms are put in the contract, anything could then happen with these hotels. But that notwithstanding, I think SNIT could come clear.
Even assume, let's just assume without admitting that the hotels are indeed not doing well.
Sure.
Let's just assume.
Sure.
For the sake of argument. Sure. That the hotels are indeed not doing well. We want to sell off our stake.
That's right.
In the hotels to a private management. Okay. Good. Now, this private management is a member of government. Good. Now, the stake that we are selling is held by government, correct? Okay. Why not just appoint Akufo-Addo? Why not just appoint this private man, okay, to have oversight over those facilities, so that he can bring that dexterity, that acumen,
that
expertise to bear in revitalizing those facilities. That's
not a bad idea at all.
Why not? Because the man is already a member of your administration.
That's right.
So all you have to do is make him Minister of Hotels, or take him to tourism.
President's special initiative. The new
representative
for the hospitality industry.
I mean, and this particular administration is very crafty when it comes to creating portfolios.
Or maybe you can use the word creative. I think crafty connotes mischief.
I mean, I was just speaking English grammar. I'm sorry.
I see what you're saying. Maybe a creative title that could then give him oversight into the management, the running, so he can bring that Rock City expertise to that space.
If this were somebody, your typical businessman without any political connections or exposure, then we could be looking at the argument from a different perspective altogether. Right. But this is a member of the administration, very well known. Well, I think the easiest term to use is politically exposed person.
That's right.
So why hide behind a certain business cloth to take over those stakes? Unless we are saying that we don't want government to continue holding those stakes, or unless there's more to it. But if it's just a matter of, the facilities are not performing, they are not yielding the necessary dividends that we want them to yield for the people.
Can we try something else?
Can we try something else without necessarily giving up?
Yes.
I mean, there are always other ways to look at it.
Well, that's a story that's unfolding, and we keep a keen eye on that. We wait to see what Shraj also has to say about the matter. Michael, you wanted to...
Isn't it curious that all this is happening after the removal of the former Senate boss?
That's what I was saying.
I thought about that, but the other release we read last week or so said that the processes started way before.
Yes,
well, it could be that he was opposed to it. I don't know.
That is a possibility.
It's a possibility. It could be that he was opposed to the whole transaction. It's possible. It's possible he was leading it. We don't know. But we can't rule out anything.
Okay, well, to summarize on this one, there's a story on 3news.com. Make sure you're checking out 3news.com. Sale of Snit's stake in hotels. Phenomenon of government officials deliberately running down public entities must stop. Member of Parliament for North Tong and petitioner of the sale of Snit's stake in some 4 hotels, Samuel Okudito Ablako, has observed that public officials deliberately run down state entities and turn around to purchase them. He said this has got to stop, adding that state assets should not be managed as personal property. And this story again is ever evolving, and we keep a keen eye on that. Sixtus, I see you've turned to some page in the Ghanaian Times.
In fact, two stories actually. The first one is my favorite coach, Lai Kingston.
He says he no go do.
He said he no go do.
I watched a viral video of him passionately speaking with the team and all of that. So I thought that passion was going to carry through till the end. But he says, no, I'm not going to do. Why?
No, so I've been trying to engage our sports team, and I'm sure when Kelvin comes on, it's a story that he will look at. But I've been asking questions. I mean, if this guy has done so well so far, losing one match is not enough to make him say he no go do again. So what really is the backstory?
I see.
What really is the backstory?
It's just the one game that he lost so far.
I mean, so far that is the impression I get. That is the impression I get.
Not everybody does well with losing, you know.
But I don't think that it's necessarily have to do with the game that he lost. That's my suspicion.
Has he left on his own volition?
Per the release that the GFA released.
A release or release?
And that was the other part that also got me more curious. The tone of that release, it wasn't... see, your coach has resigned. I mean, he has left the team midway in a tournament. Kindly check for me. It should be somewhere on the platform.
All right.
The messages have now decided to load. Per that release, I sense that there's some bad blood between Lai Kingston and the GFA. Because the GFA could have just simply acknowledged the resignation without going on to talk about his attitude, he deserting the team, getting off the team bus on their way back to the hotel, and refusing to coach the team for the third place game. And I don't know if you've seen that release.
Not yet.
But the tone of the release also got me curious, and I don't think that it's a good thing. I mean, we have tolerated foreign coaches. We have tolerated all the foreign coaches. Unless there's more to it, and I can't wait to hear the backstory from our team.
Well,
but
Calvin
I don't think
and
it is right.
the sports team, they'll be here, and they can hopefully give us more. Michael,
guys, so another story that I think it's quite worrying. That after how many years of Ghana leading the path to some extent when it comes to cocoa production and export, next year we are planning on borrowing almost double the amount we did this year to secure cocoa purchases. Can we get serious?
My goodness, expand on that for us.
Can we get serious? This year we borrowed $800 million. Next year we are planning to borrow $1.5 billion. to fund the purchase of cocoa for 2024-2025 season.
Do we still have our number 2 position?
We still do, but the numbers are not even looking too good for this year because there are indications that the production volumes, they are not meeting the volumes for the targets for this year, and even that the hike in the price of cocoa on the global market is encouraging more smuggling because you can take it to Cote d'Ivoire and get a better deal anyway because the prices have gone up.
That's right.
Coupled with the impact of galamsey on cocoa sites.
Wait, please repeat that. The prices have gone up in Ghana.
Globally.
You
know, recently to the price
sale
of
price.
Yes,
okay.
on the world market has
so
gone
it means
up.
that even if I'm selling in Ghana, I'll still get a good deal.
Cocoa,
why do I have to smuggle?
Cocoa prices are heavily regulated. Sometime last year, I believe, or early this year, the price of cocoa was increased again after the earlier increase announced last year because of the hike on the global market. Now, of course, Cote d'Ivoire always sells higher than Ghana in terms of the price, always buys higher from the farmers than Ghana does, even though we have better quality. So now, with that increase again, still Cote d'Ivoire's price is higher than Ghana's. So people will still prefer to smuggle it. And I'm sure if you even look in one of the stories, there was a story in one of the newspapers where the driver from one of the traditional councils was caught smuggling cocoa. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find that story. I just chanced upon it somewhere. So, driver of Agno Traditional Council in Police Grave for attempted smuggling of cocoa beans to Togo. So you see, the prices have gone up, and this is encouraging more smuggling. But that's not even the focus of my story. For me, the point is that we've done this for decades.
That's right.
Cocoa Board can't come to the place where it can finance its own operations, and we still have to be borrowing.
We've got to borrow twice as much next year.
When will we ever get there?
The poor city must be tired.
And you see, there was this infographics I saw. If you see how, we always say that Ghana used to be number one, and we think it was just like 10 years ago or recently. Cote d'Ivoire overtook us somewhere in the 1980s.
Oh, I see. And we haven't been able to recover since then.
And you see, the leaps and bounds with which Cote d'Ivoire is giving us gap, it's fascinating and worrying at the same time, because what are they doing that we are not learning from? And you see, don't even implement something new. Copy and implement and become a... See, if you look at the numbers and the rate, let me try and see if I can pull that up. But the rate at which Cote d'Ivoire is growing their cocoa production, it's shocking that we that used to lead the path are suddenly dwindling this much, and we're not doing anything about it.
So what are they doing that we are not doing?
That's something that we must definitely interrogate. But once you find those figures for us, Michael, the Daily Graphic this morning on the front page: we will stabilize the city, Finance Minister assures the nation. I'm just going to read the story to see if there's anything that jumps out to me that gives me some assurance that this city will be stabilized. I think I said sometime last week, I've been listening to government officials when this question is posed to them, and so far there isn't anything that has jumped out at me creatively. They said we are working on it. So the government has announced that it is intensifying the gold for oil and gold for
calm down.
And gold for reserves program, and fast-tracking fiscal consolidation processes within the economy, among a raft of measures. So you hear there are a raft of measures. Today I'll find the raft of measures. Don't worry. Other interventions. Listen up. Here we go. Other interventions intended to shore up the local currency, which has depreciated by 14% against the US dollar this year alone, include government's expected receipt of a combined 2.3 billion from its development partners. So we're going to borrow. Is that what that means? Please, Michael, decode this for us.
Say that again.
This is some of the measures we're going to use. It includes expected receipt of a combined 2.3 billion US dollars from our development partners.
Yeah.
We're going to borrow 2.3 billion. Or some will give us, some will dash, some might
so the investments that we will get into the sector generally.
Okay, generally. We're expecting 2.3 billion US dollars.
There's a breakdown. I think Elvis did the breakdown here.
Okay, and then you find her.
Yeah, so there's the cocoa syndicated loan. There's $300 million from the World Bank DPO2.
Is that a loan or it's a gift?
I think it's part of...
is it IMF?
Read it again. World Bank.
So let me go through them. He cited the expected disbursement of the third tranche under the second review of the IMF-supported PC PEG after the IMF Executive Board approval of June 2024. Disbursement from other, I think now we're expecting 360 million. So that's one. Including the 150 million World Bank loan.
So far, I've had loan.
Yeah, so this is a loan. The minister also mentioned the expected disbursement of $300 million under the World Bank DPO2, possibly in the third quarter of 2024. Disbursement of $200 million to Ghana Exim Bank and GCB by ECOWAS Bank. Of course, not sounds like a loan again. For investment and development later in the year. Okay. So then we are expecting something from the cocoa syndication proceeds. I think some of the money came earlier in January, so we're expecting the remaining tranche.
Right.
The amount is not stated here. So that's basically that. So when you add all of those, I'm sure that's part of what gives us the expected $2.32 billion by the end of the year. But of course, these will come in tranches.
Okay, and these are all sounding mostly like loans.
Yeah, loans.
Okay. Well, addressing the media in Accra last Friday at the monthly economic update series, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, said, but for the recent pressures, the local currency had been largely stable, with the depreciation of the cedi against the US dollar halving from 54.2% at the end of November 2022 to 27.8% at the end of December 2023. He said the cedi stability had continued into 2024 with a cumulative depreciation of 14.2% as of May 20, compared to 20.7% recorded in the same period in 2023. I'm quoting him here. He says, we expect the city's stability to improve into the medium term as we complete debt restructuring, make more progress on fiscal consolidation, and improve our reserves over the medium term. So are we feeling more reassured given what the finance minister is telling us about the stability of the city? Sounds as though some loans could come to our rescue, shore up our reserves, and possibly chart some sort of way forward. Does that fill you with confidence? I'll take that as a no, Sixtus. Michael, does that fill you with confidence?
At least. On the other hand, what these inflows mean is that the continuous depreciation of the cedi will see some stalling. It means that we will not continue to see the depreciation that we've seen. I think over the last 2-3 weeks, we've gone from 14 to 15.5. Thereabouts, depending on your source. So, of course, if those inflows come, it will help shore up the local currency. But the bottom line is that what are the realistic measures we are putting in place to prevent us from going there? And you see, sometimes when you look at what is happening in the sub-region, you can't help but feel sad for Ghana. I yesterday saw a story from Dangote's refinery, where now Dangote is importing crude from the U.S.
Dangote is importing crude
from the U.S. to refine. Do you know what that means for their economy? Do you know what that means for their currency?
This is Nigeria.
And this is Nigeria. And you see, these are people who have decided to grab the bull by the horn, at least with something.
That's right.
It's like we are meddling in everything and no clear-cut strategy to save our country. And you see, if we were empowering the business people to lead the way in reviving this economy, at least it's something. But we don't see really what is happening, especially with growing our economy. Let me read that story, and you'll be shocked at the volumes this man is bringing into Nigeria. Now, remember that whatever he spends in importing this product, more forex will be generated from the sale of the products, and all those forex will come back into Nigeria. So I'm projecting that in the next couple of years, Nigeria's currency may be one of the strongest on the continent because of some of these developments. Remember also that they have their what is it called, airpiece guy, who's also doing major stuff. That guy controls, I gather, about 50% of the aviation industry volumes in Nigeria.
Because Airpeace is now going international.
Exactly.
They're going to the UK.
The UK, and that is a big game changer because a lot of the traffic to UK comes from Nigeria.
That's right.
Now he is charging in naira, not dollar. All of this is going to help strengthen their currency.
Absolutely.
And we need to start doing.
And also just promote competition from the other airlines. So now if you're in Nigeria, you get a pick of getting some good airfares. You too can go out and see. There's a travel and see.
Exactly. So that's the Dangote story here says that, let me pull it up. And then Dangote Refinery has commenced export of its refined products, providing more revenue opportunities for the mega refinery. The refinery is even this is even as the refinery has placed new order for crude totaling about 24 million barrels over the next 12 months. For the first stage, a cargo, let me see, where can I find the amount they are importing from the US? It's quite, see, we need to get serious, people. And yet we allowed a foreign company come and set up a refinery in our country, and we don't have a stake in it. Are we serious?
Okay, Helen.
Oh boy. Well, on that note, time check it is. Yes.
Your favorite minister?
Which one? You don't know
The
who
information minister turned works and housing minister.
That's not my favorite. My favorite minister is Sticker.
Former Agreg. Deputy Finance.
Deputy Finance. Man, like
Who
Sticker.
was your favorite minister?
No. When Sticker is there, MP4 and Shire so.
Why Sticker?
I've been watching him since I started doing since I started doing this job, if you will. And one thing I can always guarantee is that the conversation will degenerate into a passionate cacophony as far as he is there. Sometimes very rambunctious. Go and find out what that is. But
before you go, Helen,
yes.
This is the first time that I believe we are having academicians at the helm of affairs in our finance ministry, to some extent. We have Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, we have Dr. Alex Ampabing as a deputy, and we have Dr. Sticker.
Dr. Stephen Amwa, please. AKA Sticker.
You said Dr. Alex Ampabing. When it got to Sticker,
Dr.
It's
It's Dr. Stephen Amwa, AKA Sticker. You get it right.
So you have asked for.
So if the business people have failed us, let's see what the
teachers and the academicians will do. And just so they know, we have high expectations of you all. Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, Dr. Alex Ampabing were all CSO activists before going to politics. So you know what happens on the grounds.
Right.
Don't go there and let the politics confuse you and you forget about Ghana.
And up till very recently, actually, Dr. Ampabing is been very active on the media space.
Exactly.
You've spoken to me a number of times.
Yeah.
So we expect a lot.
Very much so.
We expect a lot.
Very much so.
But based on the comments on our Facebook page, let's apologize once again for our inability to bring Johnny's Bite. It will be back on tomorrow.
That's right. Thank you for that, Sixtus. Again, apologies. Johnny's Bites couldn't come your way this morning. It will return tomorrow. But I see our phone lines are already blinking. I'll announce the numbers, and then you too can let us know what is happening in your community and beyond. We call this one Community Voices. 0559 242 717 or 0556 910 154. A little Libby, a little Laba. And that's how we start the morning. Let me get on to my first caller. Hello, good morning. Who's calling? Where are you calling us from?
Good morning, Sister Helen.
Good morning to you, Pastor Dewale. How was the weekend?
Oh, it was quite great.
Fantastic.
It was quite great. And let me take this opportunity and say hi to my district pastor, Reverend Mrs. Esther Esima Agboli. That's the district pastor of Unity Church, Salon Congregation, Chitebu to be precise.
Okay,
Yesterday, in fact, it was Trinity Sunday. And we came to realize that we all have a need in our life. Everybody has a need. And that is for eternity. So, in all that we are chasing, in all that we are gathering, we have been called to serve. So what is the need of the people are we supplying? But just a quick one.
Sure.
Let me take you straight to the market. I was just watching this morning on your network, TV2, in the absence of Johnny's Bites program. And people were called to, in fact, the host, I've forgotten her name. They were two, the lady. He said 2 months ago, a trader told that a tomato box was 1,200 cedis.
That's right.
As we speak today, it's over 5,000. Look at it.
Goodness
As
me.
we speak today. So people phone in. And one certain that worsened the whole issue was a man phoning for Upper West and said now a tomato in Upper West, one is 10 cedis.
What?
One. Yes, he said it. The records are there. You can go back and check. Just this morning. As I'm speaking to you, I'm watching both TV, listening to radio at the same time. Yes. Then I quickly called a lady that I knew in Tamale. She told me for the past days she have not gone to Tamale market because the tomato is not even there and it's quite expensive. This was what a lady teacher told me this morning. Because from what I saw on TV, I quickly called her to compare that of Tamale. If our West is not getting, then how can Tamale get? And the lands are there, my sister. The arable lands are there. What are we doing? Look at the open prison camps. The aim is to what? To be able to augment the feeding grant, which is 1 cedi 80 pesos, and to sell the excess to also what? Keep the prison running.
That's right.
Are we resourcing this prison even enough? Planting for food a job. If they have even collaborated with these open prisons. One is at Kaswa, Utu open prison camp. Just last week Friday, I visited them. Their lands are there. They even have a dam. The young guys are there. But who will collaborate with them? So this is where we have come to. And one man also called from Upper East. He said the reason why they are even farming things are expensive in this country is that the government have left the investors with no help. And taxation and in fact cost of petrol, cost of production is becoming quite expensive.
That's right.
That's why we have been producing here. Ours seem to be more expensive than outside one. How about the cocoa issue? Thank God last week I connected a cocoa farmer from Oti region to Johnny Hughes. I'll talk, okay, for the sake of time.
Definitely, round up for me, please.
Tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yes. But do you know one thing, my sister?
Yes,
the government is not helping cocoa farmers. You know there's a law that before you cut a cocoa tree, you have to seek permission from Cocoa Board.
That's right.
How come all of a sudden these so-called galamseyers will just come, concession, then they chop off all the trees? Besides that, the government is not paying the cocoa farmers. When
that's something will certainly be.
No, it's true. The cocoa farmer said it last week.
All right.
Pastor said it last week.
Thank you for that.
His own mouth.
Thank you.
Have a blessed morning.
Have a blessed morning. I'll get on to my next caller. Hello, good morning. Apologies. And let's try and make our submission short, sweet, and snappy. 0559 242 717 or 0556 910 154. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Helen. How are you?
Kosami, I'm doing fantastic. How are you this morning?
Oh, by His grace.
Lovely. Lovely. Let's hear you.
The living. Thank you very much. I think I really enjoy your in-house discussion.
Thank you.
We have to be serious in this country. Think about this country rather than our personal interest. We seem not to care about the growth of this country. And I tell you, that's what is happening. The leadership in this country, they think about themselves, not about the future of this country. There's one problem in our community, Helen. For the past 15 days, getting to even more than 15 days, we don't have water. The reason is that there's a construction of a street within the community. And I even sent some pictures to Leon. When they intend to construct this street, I don't know the collaboration between the contractor and water company. They just do a caterpillar, just come and burst the pipeline in the community, denying the community from getting water.
So over 2 weeks now, there hasn't been water?
There hasn't been water for about 2 weeks. We thank God for the rainwater. If not because of this rain, the rain that have rained twice, I'm telling you, I don't know what the community will have done. It's serious. What kind of construction is this? I call the attention of the contractor. Why are you constructing a road on a main pipeline? Main pipeline that all the community connect water to.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Kosami.
One of the worry issues are this about SMEs that we are borrowing money from ECOWAS Bank and other place to go and support. The economic situation the grounds is not good for business.
That's right.
And we are going to dash out this money for party boys to go waste for nothing. This is going to be to go around in their constituencies. To distribute this money, claiming that we are supporting SAEs. I'm telling Helen, this money is going to go waste, and Ghana is going to pay back.
Thank you for that, Kosami. Have a wonderful morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Helen. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Who's speaking, please?
It's Uria.
Hi, Uria. Great to hear your voice. How are you doing?
By God's grace, I'm doing very well.
Fantastic. Let's hear you, please.
Helen, what does the land of Ghana produce?
Oh, that's a good question. What do we really produce?
Because if your dad is pounding fufu every day, and then you take money to go and buy fufu, what will become of that your dad?
Great question.
Because since we started reading about agriculture, we only read it from the books, and yet we don't feel it in our system.
Mm-hmm.
This cocoa money you are talking about that we are going to borrow, the poor man will end up paying the interest. As for the borrowing, everybody knows we are going to borrow, but how we are going to pay, nobody questions, nobody tells us the truth about how it's going to be paid for.
That's right.
And it will be spread for even children unborn.
Correct.
Yet when the profit comes, the elite, those that are supposed to manage us, will be the very first people to say that they work hard. So they will take the profit and leave the debt for us to come and pay. With all this that is happening, when you go into your room, how are you going to pray in support of these people? Because they are pretending they are dead. They are pretending they are dead. Everything is like happening upside down. As you sit in the studio, if you have to pay some dollars or pounds, and every day this currency keeps soaring higher.
Urea, in fact, I have to pay a bill in pounds. And let me tell you, this morning, the rate is something scary. 18 cities, 22 pesos. 18 cities, 22
and
pesos.
Yet your salary is the same.
That's right.
Your salary is the same. And they always come back to us as if we don't know where our brains are. They keep telling us lies to give them the power. And when they come, disrespect, dishonesty, a whole lot of negativity happening in the country. So you walk and there is nothing for you to cherish about. Look at how last week you were talking about the felling of trees in the country, and nobody seems to care.
Good morning, Urea. Have a fantastic day. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Helen.
Yes, who's speaking, please?
Yes, Seshak.
Seshak, great to hear your voice. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Let's hear you, please.
It's been a while.
It has. Great to hear from you.
Yeah. Helen, like last time when I called you, I complained that there are two callers. When they come on your line, they hijack the line.
Seshak, I have taken it on board. I'm working on it. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. But must understand that now hairtime is very, very, very expensive.
I agree with you.
So when we are behind and we are paid and you're talking too much, you need to summarize your points when you come on air, so that other people cannot take your opportunity.
Seshak, that's right. What you said is...
Yeah, he must not behave like a legibam. I'm begging him.
Oh, no. No legibam behavior here. But again, Seshak, thank you for your patience, and it is duly noted. Let's hear you, please.
Thank you very much, Helen.
Sure.
My first one has to do with the designated finance minister.
Mm-hmm.
I chanced on a news reportage that says that he said that the reason why inflation is high is because contractors have been paid.
That was in the news.
For once. Where did he learn his economics? No, where did he learn his economics? That when you pay people, inflation goes high. In this country, let me tell you, Helen, people's capital has rather dwindled because of what? That, what do you call it? Purported or what do you call it? Machinated, what do you call it? Depreciation that the Bank of Ghana has instigated into the system. Just recently, I heard one economist saying that they deliberately did that because it will benefit the Bank of Ghana. So it should come again. You understand? Now, you owe the contractors. Now, their money has depreciated, rather. The money that you have paid them, if it was those monies were supposed to be paid 2 years ago, their money has depreciated.
That's right.
You see, so why do you say that they are the reason why now inflation is going up? Does he really understand the economic principles? And please, I sometimes I normally listen to your early morning news. Your news reporters, they should stop calling him the finance minister. He's a finance minister designate, not a finance minister. They must get it right. You understand? They must get the name right. He is not a finance minister. A finance minister designate who is yet to be vetted by parliament and approved.
Right.
You understand? They should stop this kind of class 1, class 2 economics and all those kind of things and stop the saying that there's a lot of the dollar in the system and what. Are they supposed to dollarize the system? All that we Ghanaians we want, Helen, we want food, clothing, and shelter. These are the three key things that concerns every Ghanaian. Are we asking for more? What more else are we asking for, Helen?
You're right, Seshak.
You have impoverished Ghanaians to the latter. And you have the tenacity and the audacity to come on and come and say that. In fact, check your sources. How
how many people they have been able to pay the contractors they owe.
That's something we certainly have on our radar. That's right, Seshak. It's definitely on the radar to actually verify these claims of contractors having been paid. But you're very passionate this morning. Thank you so much for your call, Seshak.
Thank you very much, Helen.
I'll get on to my last caller and we'll make way for the sports. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Who's speaking, please?
This is Alasan Sixtus from Zulu Central.
Alasan, great to hear your voice. Let's hear you, please.
You see, my brother who just left complained of people keeping long on the line.
That's right.
But he ended up doing the same thing.
Indeed.
Do you get it?
Yes, I do get it.
My question this morning is that who is in charge of our sanitation? Who is in charge of Accra? Especially the drainage.
You say the filth is overwhelming.
I'm telling you. You see, look at this range. Now we are just entering to June, right?
Correct.
And the rain just started. Look at the flooding the days gone when we had the rain. How do you expect things to work? Here you have one minister packing over $100 million into a room. And people are quiet. Nothing seems to be working. Sister, let's pray. God keep on his eye on Ghana. Other than that, Ghana is finished. Have a nice day.
Have a blessed morning, Al Hassan. And we'll park it here for Community Voices. Of course, tomorrow we open up the phone lines for you to let us know what is happening in your community. But sports will be coming your way shortly.